Thank you guys for joining to April 30th Rally Community Call Edition. We have a pretty jam-packed schedule for you guys with a ton of really cool creators to talk to. Just to kind of kick off for the agenda today, we are going to have our special guest creator, Livibee, which is really exciting. She's been across Clubhouse, Twitch, but it's great to actually have her on the community call, which is really cool. So Livibee, all the way from Australia, going to be interviewed by Rob Simpson, which is really exciting. And then we're going to kick it over to June. June has been working alongside Rally for quite some time now. Just every time he joins the call, it's just you learn something new. So it's really exciting to hear from June. And he's going to cover what social tokens can learn from public spaces, right? So kind of like a vice versa edition of that subject. And then we're going to kick it over to KPIs and product updates with Mike. Mike Lee will be covering that. And then we'll round it out with Jason with some updates to the reward system. And then again, like I said, we'll have some room for Q&A. But just to get started, let's kick it over to Rob and Livibee. Rob, go ahead and take it away, man.
All right. Hey, Livy, how you doing?
Yes, good. Rob, how you been?
Wonderful, wonderful. Happy Friday. For those of you that
Friday.
don't know, Livibee was one of our first creators that joined the platform earlier this year in 2021. She is the owner slash creator of the B token on the platform. Livibee is joining us from Sydney, Australia, and her background is mostly based in StarCraft, and she's now a little bit of a variety streamer, but also a really big cosplayer. So we've seen this really nice evolution of her career, and it's been really great to also see how you're embracing and integrating the coin in your community. Would you mind giving us a little bit of a background on like your experience in crypto prior to joining Rally?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, it's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. My name's Livibee. I am a StarCraft streamer, but also a huge crypto enthusiast. I actually was introduced to cryptocurrency back in probably 2016. And as soon as I got bit by the crypto bug, I just consumed all things cryptocurrency. And then I went in the huge, altcoin wave with everything else. And I experienced all the ups and downs. And I just loved every part of it along the way. I just feel like there's um, just a huge need for it, and that I feel like it's going places and it's growing. And I'm just so happy to be part of Rally, because when I heard about Rally and the social token, I was just like, count me in, because I've been about crypto for so long. When I got introduced to Rally, I was like, wait, I can have my own crypto? I never thought it'd be possible. I was like, yes, please. Because like I know there's just like so much that goes into that. And it's like so volatile when it goes up and down like that. But then when you have a token backing your token on the Ethereum network, it just stabilizes that, I feel like, tenfold, because you just have all this community coming together and them going toward a common cause. I was just like, I'm so keen for this.
Yeah, so
So yeah.
when you started this last point, you mentioned that it's like a need in the space. Could you
Yeah, huge
expand on
need.
what you yeah, so like what do you mean by that? What are some of the pain points that creators deal with that the token helps solve?
Yeah. I just feel like with being a creator, you have to experience all of these um, platforms, like these third party platforms. And when you got to choose which platform, and there's always fees associated, and you're trying to choose the one with the lowest fees, but also with the biggest like exposure. And it's just like there's people that are always like wanting to charge things back. And then it's a mess. It's a clown town out there, Rob. So when you get introduced to like a cryptocurrency, like that first of all, with Rally being on a platform where exchanging tokens has no fees, that's huge for a creator, because that those fees eat into like the profits for the creator. And people don't realize that when they're trying to support a creator, that there's like credit card fees, there's platform fees, and they're not small. They add up, and they really just minimize the profit that a creator can have. So not only does having your own coin help the community, because like them holding the coin, then the coin, then they can like send the coin to other people, and then their coin goes up in value, and then you can like, you know, change it for other goods and even to other creators. It just creates like this whole community. And I feel like it eliminates, with also eliminating those fees, just makes it, I guess, way more profitable for the creator at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. And then you get to do more of what you want to do, right? Which is make
Yeah.
content and provide that inspiration to your community as well. What has the adoption been like in your community, like from announcement to to them embracing it?
Well, overall very positive, actually. I think it's very personal. It's a very personal thing to have your own coin. So when people see B coin, they immediately think of me because it's my coin. And that in itself, they want to support that. Because if they want to support the content creator, then they want to get some and hold some of B coin. And that's why I think the adoption has been really good, because my community is amazing and I love them to bits. And they hold the coin and then they send the coins to each other. And also I know one of my community members is coding a store so that, because the API is public and all that, so they can get all that done, and they're geniuses basically. So they're coding a store and it's going to be public and other creators can even use it. It's going to be really good. He's aiming to launch in the 2 weeks actually.
And so what's the name of that community member again? If you want to put
MRQ,
a spotlight on him.
MRQ02.
Yeah, and he kind of has a background
Richard.
of building things for you as well, right? What's some of the other
he's
stuff?
He's a coder. He actually coded for me the live tracker for my stream overlay on Twitch. So when people tune into my stream live on Twitch, they can see the current price live on my channel. So it's just a little overlay with my little logo, and it's got the price of my Bitcoin in both Rally and USD. And he also added a percentage change in a 24-hour time frame, but you can turn that off if you want. Might be too much information to consume.
That's really cool. Where can people get this?
Is
it available now? Is there?
He did say that all creators on Rally can use it. I think he did post in the Rally Discord. So just ping him at MRQ02 on Discord and he can direct you where to get it.
Okay, got it. So when you're explaining what your token is and what it does within your community, what are you saying? How do you educate them on Bitcoin?
I just say Bitcoin is my own crypto. It's basically my own crypto. It's a social token backed by Rally. It's on the Ethereum network. It's basically our stream's currency. So you can use it, you can trade it. There's no fees. By buying it, you support me directly, but also you hold that value within the community. You actually hold those tokens, and then you can access our super special elite Discord channel. And then you can buy stuff.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's so perfect. That was exactly what I was going to ask next. Was what else? What is your community doing with your token? What types of value are you offering them with that?
So soon, once the store goes live, we'll be able to unlock. So right now, I release weekly cosplay content on my Patreon, and then they can actually unlock that through Bitcoin through my own store using my own crypto Bitcoin soon.
Super dope. What other plans do you have in the future for Bitcoin and for your community, and what are you looking forward to?
Hopefully, I can do tournaments and stuff within gaming. So we can hold tournaments. There'll be a small prize entry fee with Bitcoin, and then there'll be a large prize at the end to distribute to the top 3 or something. And then there'll be eventually merch, so you can buy physical goods with it as well. And that will be through the store also. I'm very excited.
Actually, speaking of physical goods, you had some amount of physical goods created already, right? For Bitcoin, do you have one of those to show on the stream?
Oh, oh yeah, I got one 3D printed. Actually, MRQ 3D printed it.
Yeah. So I mean, as you all can see, Livibee has been an absolutely stellar example of what we can do with a creator. Yeah. Awesome.
They're so cute. He's awesome.
So where can people find you?
So my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Livibee. I'm Livibee on Instagram, but my Twitter has 4 E's, Livibee. You can follow me on all those things. And that's where you can catch me playing StarCraft or cosplaying.
Awesome. Do you have any other closing thoughts for the community?
Rally is amazing. It's going to be freaking awesome. And I can't wait until everyone realizes its potential.
If you had, final question. If you had a magic wand that could just make one thing happen, what would it be? In the community, community wise.
Probably for Elon Musk to say Rally token. It was inevitable to happen.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Livibee, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for joining us on this call.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Hell yeah. Back to you, Grant.
Awesome. Rob, Livy, again, thank you guys. I think it's so cool that you guys have known each other for quite some time and like worlds collide now, like on both
Yeah.
something you guys are just so passionate about. Like you guys can just hear it through the screen, which is awesome. Livy, I can't wait to see those coins out and like in people's hands. It's so cool. So very cool to see some physical goods coming out of your camp. Awesome. Well, June, it is up for you, man. I can't wait to hear what you have to bless us today. You always bring really cool information and some gems. So bless us now, man. But take it away, June.
Right. Well, no pressure after that intro, Grant. I actually want to tell a quick story that's related to Livibee. So, I've been with Rally since before the launch, right? And it's so great to see how this whole community and project has evolved. I mean, it's just been incredible. Um, but so I told my family about it. It's like, oh, I'm working with this project. It's a really cool project, right? This was last year. And like, oh, okay, it's another crypto thing. And then fast forward a couple of months ago, my younger brother, who lives in Australia, and is a fan of Livibee, comes
What?
to me and says, like,
Oh
hey,
my God.
there's this B token, right? And he was buying this B token. And I said, well, you know what? Why don't you go to the rally.io website, which is where the B token is from, and check out who's on the about page. And he was like, oh my God, what are you doing there? I'm like, I told you about this last year, this
It wasn't
project is
interested
for
then.
real. Yeah,
That is
exactly.
awesome. Tell him I say
So
hi.
yeah, we'll do. Anyway, I think he's a big bee holder and a rally farmer now. So
Oh,
he's farming that rally. Sweet. So let me try and share my screen. Awesome. So just as a quick introduction, I do a bunch of research for Rally, and I publish it on the Rally blog under a column called Pace Notes. And sort of the objective of what I do is I look at a lot of the adjacent literature that's out there in fields like sociology or economics that I think have a lot of overlap with what we're trying to build when we talk about social token communities or tokenized communities. So that's kind of the general direction of the research. And so if I jump from discipline to discipline, you'll forgive me. That's kind of part of it's a feature, not a bug. So in recent weeks, I've been following the research by a group called New Public, and they have a project called Civic Signals. So this was created by two people. One of them, Eli Pariser, who you might know from a few years ago. He wrote a book called The Filter Bubble, in which he examined how information gets circulated on social media platforms, right, like Facebook and so on. And the conclusion was people end up in these bubbles, right? So you don't get a lot of new information that doesn't confirm your biases. So I was super interested when he came up with this new project, which was all about how we can sort of reform or rethink digital spaces by using the metaphor of public space, right? So if we think about how for centuries we have built, successful public spaces like parks and libraries and other things, why can't we apply some of those principles to our new public spaces, which happen to exist on the internet? And I think there's a lot of overlap there with community building in social tokens. So, and you can go to newpublic.org to see all of the great research there. But so the following is going to be a quick summary of their research, and then I'll do a few sort of cues on where I think social tokens can learn from those things. So, these are the things that they say are features of good public spaces, right? So programming, there's some kind of editorial input in terms of what your community does, visual cues, accessibility, and an emphasis on engaging maintainers, right? So not just people, not necessarily just builders or founders, but people who are maintaining a particular culture. And this is kind of the thought experiment on, imagine if a digital space were a physical space, right? So this is their thing on Twitter. They kind of say, you can read this a little bit, but but the conclusion isn't great, right? You end up with a metaphor of, if Twitter was transposed into meat space, it would look like a crowded parking lot on a busy shopping day, right? Just a bunch of people in a kind of a log jam, shouting each other and trying to be heard over the chaos and the cacophony. And it's made worse by things like algorithmic amplification. So, what does a well-designed public space look like? So this is an example they gave. There's a terrible heat wave in Chicago in 1995. Eric Kleinberg, who's a sociologist, wrote a book about this heat wave and sort of examined many aspects of it. Almost 800 people died in this heat wave, which is a lot. And so what Kleinberg found was that, there was a correlation between those parts of the city that had more public spaces like libraries and parks and a reduction in deaths, right? Or a low number of deaths. And I guess the hypothesis of why that happened is because those places with public spaces had the infrastructure to allow citizens to get together regularly and thus create a social safety net for those people, right? So when the heat wave came, which the most vulnerable die from the heat wave, right? Whether it's the elderly or people with disabilities or people with on lower income who can't cool their environment. Those people who had spent time in the public spaces had the social safety net to check on them and support them and ensure that they didn't actually die in the heat wave. So those are the kind of interesting second order effects of the existence of public spaces and the design of good public spaces. And so the other concept they introduced is this idea of public friendly design, right? And so they kind of position that in opposition to user friendly design. Like we all know about, the objective of kind of the Silicon Valley really is to create, user friendly UIs, right? How can we get you to complete a particular user journey or user flow? And I guess their argument is, what's good for the user may not be good for the group of users, right? So individual well-being is not the same as group well-being. And so that requires a slight reframing of how we might think about designing communities, right? From the one to the many. And one of the things that they claim is that, user design is all about removing friction, right? How can you smoothly get people to do certain things? And they think that good public friendly design is not obsessed with friction elimination, right? Instead, friction can be a useful feature to allow some of these social practices and to allow the knitting of the social fabric to take place. So, friction is not the enemy. And you can go on their website and you can get a lot more info on this, but they have a whole framework that they came up with. They rated a bunch of the big social media platforms based on this framework. So you can see, based on their research, what they think each of these platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, etc., how they score according to their framework. But that research doesn't go, I think, deep enough into some of the social token stuff. So, they drill down into some of these specific building blocks of how great digital public spaces can be built. One of those traits is this idea of cultivating belonging, right? So, the tactics and the strategies of how do you actually cultivate belonging in a digital space. So these are some of the takeaways that they came away with, and they did this through lit research, looking at the sociology and psychology research to see what works in public spaces, and then transposing some of those things to digital. So I think a lot of these principles you can apply to your own creator coin or social token communities, right? For example, there's an interesting thing here about belongingness. The sense of belongingness tends to be capped, right? So it's a bit like Dunbar's number, where the number of close ties you can have is limited for each individual. And therefore, if you think about building a community, what's better, right? Do you want to build a community of 50,000 people, or do you want to build one where that's smaller but with deeper ties and higher belongingness score? So I think some of these insights are very useful in framing what you optimize for when you develop that social token community. And then sort of the next step following the lit trail from there, right, was a couple of papers that they base their conclusions on. So one of those papers is a thing from 1975, and it's a kind of a psychology paper that's called that created a theory called uncertainty reduction theory, right? Which is all about how closely observing how strangers meet and interact. And from there, developing some hypotheses about why they did the things they did. And so, this theory says that there's 3 phases every time you meet a stranger. There's an entry phase, and I'm gonna just double check here from my research. There's an entry phase in which strangers engage in a behavior called information seeking. And the information seeking at this stage is symmetric, right? So both parties are trying to find out, are putting as much effort to find out about each other as the other. The next phase is called the personal phase, where they try and share information about each other to the counterparty and try and find overlap. And then the last phase is the exit, in which both parties now evaluate whether future interactions are desirable. And this is when they decide whether to meet again or not and deepen the relationship. So it's a kind of interesting framework to think about, especially when it comes to community design, right? So one of the conclusions they reach is that when uncertainty decreases, so does information seeking. Okay, so that's going to be useful when we look at this other paper that they based their research on, which was a research of online communities on meetup.com with a physical component, right? So hybrid communities. So this paper was done using the uncertainty reduction theory framework. So they interpret all of their empirical findings using that framework. And these are some of the conclusions that they found, right? So for example, what are the factors that cause newcomers to the community to attend their first in-person meetup? And we know that attending in-person meetups greatly increases the sense of belonging within a community. So it's an important plank in community building. So these are some of the features, right? For example, if the host of the meetup has a photo, it results in a huge boost in attendance. And in general, the more information you give about an event, the more a newcomer is likely to attend. Things like inclusive words also boost, and also some interesting, slightly counterintuitive things, like if your event is hosted by somebody with high status in the community, who is a leader in the community, it can actually cause a big drop in newcomer attendance. So not in overall attendance, but newcomer attendance. And that's due to a concept called social distance, where basically newcomers feel like they're not part of the in-group and therefore are uncomfortable or intimidated and less likely to attend. So these are all, I think, very relevant things when it comes to social token community building. And so what does all of that have to do with our project of social tokens? I think these are some of the conclusions you can draw from the research, right? So supply lots of information if you want people to attend both virtual and live events. This goes back to uncertainty reduction theory. It reduces uncertainty and therefore increases attendance. think about your group composition, right? Don't just have all people who have been OGs in that community for many, many years, because that's going to reduce the chances of newcomers to join. You can reduce social distance of hosts by doing things like direct outreach from the host to the newcomers. And the authors of the previous paper also place a big premium on visualizing or surfacing community behavior. For example, if you show the number of RSVPs to an event, that itself increases the possibility of newcomers then RSVPing to that event. And these forms of visualization can also help you to create the feedback loops so that you have the norms to enforce certain type of community standards. So yeah, that was kind of my little foray into some of this research. You can find all of this stuff on the Rally Medium with all the links, and you can ping me on Twitter and Discord at Joon Ian. Would love to hear what sorts of research you would like me to delve into in future. Thank you very much.
Joon, again, thank you. I mean, always a stellar presentation. I know we have some people in there asking if we can actually get access to that deck. So that may be something that if you wanted to share, I know this is what you're probably going to post anyways, but just wanted to kind of throw that in your camp a little bit. So thank you again, Joon. That was stellar. Awesome. Well, Mike, it is your turn for the KPIs and product updates. I know you have a screen to share, so I'll go and kick it over to you.
Cool. So in terms of KPIs this week on the sidechain, relatively stable week compared to the last time we checked in. We had a bit of a bump in the rally price. So our total liquidity across the Uniswap and Balancer pools remains around that 95 million total liquidity number. Almost $300,000 bridged in, $300,000 worth of rally bridged in this past week. Over the side chain, things continue to grow at a steady pace. 13.6 million rally back in creator coins, about 5 million rally sitting in the sidechain as rally. Average daily volume for the past week remains strong, right around $700,000 worth of average daily volume. So, quite a lot of daily activity on the sidechain, which is great. I think, everything else is more or less relatively stable. I don't think there's anything here specifically to call out with regards to the remaining stats. So I'll leave that up for a few seconds so people can look at it. And then I'll go over to talk about the next thing. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit about our upcoming NFT product. So when we first started Rally, the original intention was actually to build an NFT product for creators. Although we pretty quickly realized that it was actually more interesting to think holistically around the broad intersection of crypto and a creator's entire economy. And thus we shifted to focus on the creator coins themselves as a base building block of a tokenized creator economy, as opposed to just focusing on NFTs. But we never really stopped thinking about NFTs. And with NFTs becoming a bit of a cultural phenomenon lately, I want to talk a little bit more about our upcoming NFT product and how we think about NFTs. So as it pertains to Rally, we are thinking about how NFTs can go beyond just being a collectible piece of digital art and instead really become integrated into a creator's economy. And so the initial obvious way is to, of course, make a creator's NFTs transactable using their own creator coin. But there's actually a lot more that can be done, we think, once we start thinking about what the Rally sidechain, being feeless, can offer, or how NFTs can actually tie in deeper to the economics and incentives within Rally. So for example, on Rally, we have a broad spectrum of creators and influencers, not just artists. So how can NFTs represent fandom or appreciation within their community, or be a conveyance mechanism for benefits or access? What if we use NFTs as a way to gate content? Or how can we make NFTs more broadly accessible to all kinds of fans, not just those who have large pockets. For example, can a musician on Rally do a giveaway to give away a free NFT with each purchase of his new album? Or to a user who has supported the creator for 3 months in a row, for example, can we use NFTs as a way to do a new form of badges? And what other new behaviors could emerge if NFTs actually had more usefulness or meaning or even inherent value? For example, if we could embed, if we had the ability to embed creator coins within NFTs themselves, or integrate NFTs somehow into our existing rewards and economic systems, or even gamify the collection or trading of these NFTs. So anyways, we're actively thinking a lot about all this stuff. I'm really excited about what NFTs can become. Although that being said, the reality is that most of what I just talked about, isn't going to be available at our MVP launch in a couple of months. But wanted to give you a bit of a peek into how we're thinking about NFTs and what the future possibilities could be. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. How exciting. NFTs on Rally just excites everyone, I believe. And so I know we have another couple questions and there we can get to them at the end, Mike, when we open it up for Q&A, but I do see a couple questions from Matthew and June. Do you want to hit on those real quick or do you want to save them for the end, Mike?
I don't know, what other content do we have on
We have Jason following up and then we have Livibee doing a small Q&A with some other folks.
Oh yeah, I think we should just keep all the questions to the end probably.
Okay, awesome. Matthew, June, we'll get to those questions in a second. And just to piggyback off of Rob's comment, we will be allowing about 10 to 15 minutes of extended time for Livibee because she has been so gracious enough to stay with us at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we want to ask, we want to have some fans ask some questions. Anybody in the call that wants to ask Livibee some questions. So we'll save that to the end, but we'll go and kick it over to Jason. I know he has some updates in regards to the reward system. So Jason, go ahead and take it away.
So, hey, I'm Jason, community guy. And if you're a creator, you probably know me from some point from an education session or otherwise see me lurking around Discord. So as part of my community role, I also help lead the Creator Review Council, which we started a few weeks back with 60 Mofo, Graham Marquis, and Rain Wraith, and then one other member of the staff here, Tuan and I. So we review creator candidates for new coins. And then we also introduced a proposal that was approved for what we call the Creator Innovative Use Rewards. And this was an idea straight from the top from Kevin. And the next time Kevin has a bad idea, I'll be the first to let you know because it will never happen. So this is the Creator Innovative Use Rewards. So really, it's a 3-month pilot program to reward creators for creating unique use cases for their coins, with a particular focus on commerce utilization. So really what that means is like how are creators coming up with, obviously interesting use cases around merch or advisory time, all sorts of different things that people can come up with to entice their coin holders to also spend the coin with the creator. So the council has been out there reviewing and soliciting for ideas, since there are now over 100 creators on the platform. And at the end of this, I'll actually put a link to a form that we use to solicit, our hotline, the tip line. If you have a creator, out there that is doing something cool and unique, and I know that especially with yesterday's product update, that everybody will have their great benefits dashboard. That'll be great for everyone, easier for us to look and find things, and then easier for people to point things out to us. The Innovative Use Rewards as well as the Creator Review Council are both in the wiki, so just in case anybody wants to kind of go look these up for themselves and ask me questions offline, you can certainly do so. So just to wrap this up, on the past week, we did our very first review, and the team rewarded the following. We rewarded 5K Rally plus a 2,500 RLY bonus to Maddie for his Stoned Elon project. That is where he used Rally for people to buy, I believe it was on OpenSea, to buy these a number of different types of Stoned Elon based art using RLY directly on the platform. So that's was a really amazing project. We also had 5K and Rally go to both Crime and Wax Motif, particularly for doing really good, in both cases, some sort of website community integration where they had whole pages on what the what the benefits were of not only having the coin, but also the reasons to spend the coin and get certain types of merch and other benefits. We also saw 2,500 go to 3CR8 and PSTL. 3CR8 did a really great merch drop via Twitter and Instagram, where they really helped their audience to see how to use the coin to purchase their items. And Jack J, who is the creator behind Pastel, sold a number of seats to a live Discord session where he dropped a new single and played it first for his coin spenders before it actually went out to platforms like Spotify and such. And then the last set, we did 1,000 each to Bot, Karma, Gary, and Play for a number of their also unique instances of using their coin. So again, we'll publish more on the project and the rewards and give these examples out, and then we'll be looking for more folks to reward in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for more on the project, and thank you for your time.
Jason, thank you. Exciting update from the Rally side. Always great to incentivize creators to come up with these use cases, and more importantly, share them with the internal team, external team, and overall Rally community. So really exciting. Thank you, Jason. Mike, I'm going to open the floor and have you unmute yourself one more time before we kick it off with Livibee's Q&A, if you don't mind. I know Matthew Gray had a great question. Could we create custom NFTs or NFT behaviors by extending them with custom smart contracts on the sidechain at some point?
Yes, to the spirit of that. No, to the smart contract aspect of it. We'll be opening up APIs around NFTs, but not the smart contract aspect of it. So, but you will be able to interact with NFTs via API. It's a bit of a ways off, but we know that that is a desire to be able to extend some of the functionality of those NFTs.
Perfect. June, I know you had a question, so you have the capability to unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask away, man.
I think Amit may have answered me in the chat, but I was just asking, when was the Delphi digital research on the Rally economics going to be published?
Yeah, I think that post is the contains the information that you're looking for.
One more question. One actually is from Rob. Did we get into the general uses of NFTs and what will be available in the MVP edition? Secondary marketplace, splits, etc. fees.
Yeah, so there will be a primary marketplace, a secondary marketplace, and fee splits on all secondary sales that can go back to the creator or to people that the creator designates. So yeah, all those things will be available. Pricing is at launch, it's all fixed pricing. Fixed pricing in creator coins.
Perfect. Yeah. Jeremiah had a question. The marketplace will be on the Rally website.
Yes.
That's correct.
These NFTs are all currently captive to the Rally sidechain.
Very exciting. Joe actually had a question, and I believe this is to Jason. Jason, I don't know if you're still there, but I do think this is actually a really good question in regards to the use case rewards and incentives. Was just going to ask if those creators that are rewarded in Rally will be published anywhere. I think that's a really good question in terms of transparency.
Yeah, absolutely not. No. We'll do a blog post. I'll put something together for the blog, and then that way I can also publish it to Discord and wherever else you kids get your information these days. We'll probably post it to Twitter as well. So we can keep track of this and also point to the references to some of these, like Rob was good enough to post the Wax Motif website where, so we'll definitely post that in the blog so people can go click through and see that, because they turn their whole website into about the use of the coin. So yep, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. That's a really good question. Thank you, Jason. We'll do two more. We have one from Matthew, Mike, and one from Rob again as well. Matthew says, so let's say a creator was making an NFT-based game and required some custom properties or behaviors. Would that require Rally devs to get involved to expose said behavior?
Yes.
Perfect. And then Rob had one more question. Who can mint NFTs? Are there any size restrictions for files or media types?
At launch, NFTs are going to be minted by will only be available to be minted by creators, but the actual mechanism of minting will be done by Rally staff.
Awesome.
File types, I think we support audio, audio, video, and imagery at launch.
Great. Well, that will wrap it up in regards to Mike's NFT update. And now let's go and kick it over to Livibee. I know we have some questions in regards to Livibee, her use cases, anything that you want to know about Livibee. I'll open it up for, about 5 to 10 minutes. We can do a Q&A. Any questions that you guys may have, please post in chat and Livibee will answer them.
I'm going to kick us off really quick about how has the reward system changing impacted your community?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's changed all that much. I know that a lot of the community members feel as if the reward system being like in 4-week increments means that they kind of want to bounce around from creators a bit, but they also feel like it's quite rewarding giving back to them as Rally. So it's rewarding for the individual. And I think that's a positive. More users is obviously better.
Yeah, communicating that that they're actually able to be a part of your ongoing growth makes a lot of sense. And then the added benefit of you being able to potentially take a salary from the platform without needing to liquidate your coin has been
exactly
super cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What do you think about NFTs? And
I would like to get involved. I think because I'm actually an artist, have a bachelor in visual arts. I know digital art is completely different, but I think it'd be really cool to make something be related, make my own NFT.
Yeah, can you speak to like cosplaying and NFTs? Have you seen anything like that in the space?
I've actually never seen anything like that. I'll have to look into it.
World
first. It's a whole new field. Yeah. Ideas.
We got a question from Joe. Do you have plans to collaborate with other creators to help introduce other communities to each other?
Yes, actually. I was going to discuss some potential collaboration with another StarCraft creator. Hasn't been planned yet, but there's been some open dialogue.
Awesome. Would monetizing cosplays be a copyright issue? I can kind of take that for any cosplay that's owned by a creator that's your IP entirely, right?
Yes, that's it's basically creating art.
Yeah, easy peasy. In the land of your visual design degree, what did you focus on? What was that?
I was actually a major in print media and a minor in photography. So I did the photography more than the print media aspect.
Cool. And what has art's role been kind of in your life before that? I know that you were painting and things like this at some point.
Yeah, I actually do a lot of artwork through my stream. Sometimes you can see my easel in my back. I like to paint, sometimes do some creative sessions. People seem to think it's pretty chill. And it's just a great creative outlet. But I feel like cosplay does that for me as well. So I'm just a creative person all around.
Have you ever tried doing anything like an interactive art stream where people can somehow influence the content that you're creating or help offer subjects for the
actually a few years back I did this really takes me back because I've been a streamer for almost a decade now, you guys. So I've had a lot of streams, but there was one art stream where I did a subscriber painting, and when someone subscribed, I would paint them a little, kind of like a little mascot thing. Yeah, it was really cool actually. It was just a little whatever image they chose, really. It could be something simple like a pair of shoes or something, and I'd paint it in, and it was sort of a really cool collab piece that was interactive between me and my chat.
Oh, that's super
gets me
awesome.
Thinking.
Yeah.
I wanted to add, Jeremiah actually had a question, Livy, just real quick. He asked what use case gets fans to purchase coins the most often or the most. which coin, what benefits have you been offering that fans have really been engaging with? And then also, before you answer that, I just want to throw the Matty Mo comment at you real quick. And he said, our coin would love to help Bcoin out with any NFT, which is really exciting. But yeah, I know Jeremiah wants to know what benefits has really been grabbing the viewer and the fans' eyes recently.
Oh, thank you, Coin. I really appreciate that. I might hit you up for that. Jeremiah, my coin, the reason people will purchase it the most is to donate it back to me. Strangely enough, but that is the number one reason why people want to buy the coin, is because they know it supports me and they want to purchase it to donate it to me because they know that there's no fees and it helps me out and supports me as a content creator above any other platform. But that's, I think, most likely because I haven't launched my cosplays yet. And I think that will definitely overtake that support, which has already been very huge. Like, I didn't expect it to have such a high adoptability in my community. Like, people have just like nonstop, like, here's some Bcoin, especially on launch. It was just Bcoin. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you.
Are there any types of like ongoing loyalty rewards that you offer, like a tiered structure and things like this?
I think it was more so just the access to the Discord server, having held the Bitcoin, there's like a minimum amount. And then it's kind of like bragging rights. People like to brag how much Bitcoin they have, and people are constantly like, teasing each other and sending Bitcoins to each other. And there's a whole, just a whole back and forth between my community.
Yeah, that's awesome. Andrew Schiffman from chat says he loves the rally ticker overlay. Are fans able to tip you via your coin on your stream, like we would gems or bits on Twitch?
100%, yeah. So actually, it shows up as an alert. It's fully integrated through Streamlabs or even Stream Elements. I use Streamlabs. So you just like use the same browser source on your OBS, and then it will show up when someone sends you Bitcoin. And it will say that it's sent from this user. If they tick the box to show their username and they've integrated their Twitch, then it will say their username has donated this much in USD value.
So in making decisions around the production of your stream, how do you choose between Streamlabs or Stream Elements? Like what matters to you there?
Actually, funnily enough, because they offered me to join the team with Stream Elements, but I said I can't exactly join Stream Elements because they record crypto the same as Streamlabs. So I separated the two. So I've been accepting cryptocurrency through like Bitcoin or Ethereum and Litecoin and stuff like that for years now. So I wanted to keep them separate for tax reasons, obviously. And then I was like, is there a way to like separate that? And they didn't quite figure it out yet. So I was just like, I best just keep them separate and use like donations through Streamlabs. So I use both. And then Stream Elements I just use for crypto donations.
And so that's how you're actually able to have different notifications for both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really awesome to know. Super.
Livy and Rob, we actually have MRQ02. Richard in chat right now. He's actually here.
Of course,
Richard,
he's a huge supporter.
I see that. Richard actually had a really good comment. He said, we spend a surprising amount of time talking about economics in Livy's stream. So adding in cryptocurrency was a no-brainer. And we often discuss what percentages platforms take. So we mostly change our donation method to whatever has the lowest percentage. I think that's great, Richard. I actually, I want to spend maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Let me find your name. If you don't mind jumping on just to say 1 or 2 things about the possible developing API store that you have going for Livy. I don't know if you're up for that. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
he's very far progressed. He showed me today.
Yeah, see, I think it'd be great to have him just, maybe a couple comments on there. Let me see where he is at.
Richard, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Hi, Richard. So what have you been building? Can you give us kind of an overview of what you've already built for Livy, and then what you're working on right now?
Yeah. So Livy actually I kind of mentioned that I could make a store that would accept Rally, and so she's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Can you make me one?" So I kind of took it to the next step, and so I'm making one that basically anyone can use. Kind of similar to like an Etsy setup where you set up your own storefront and put your own products on there and then deal with it.
Super awesome. How are you building that? Like, are you using the webhook system or what's your?
I'm using both the webhook system and the Rally APIs.
Super cool. Can you share any like visuals and things like like this?
So this is what we've got so far. Store set up. This would be a list of products. See, I'm logged in. I've got a cart here. Go into it, and you can see already that it's got a ability to add it to the cart.
Cool. And how are these items like populated and created? Is there like some CMS system that you've developed?
Yeah. So like this is my store that I was using for testing. So it's got fake products, but once you actually set it up, you just add a product. It adds all the information in there. You can go in. So you can add prices, who it pays to, things like that.
Cool. And then when you're designating price, what are the options with there? Do I need to pick a fixed price in Bitcoin, or can I choose USD and it'll do the other math?
So this is actually $1 USD in Bitcoin right now. It does a spot check, so it won't be perfectly accurate, but it does do a spot check. So you can try and list it in $1 and it should end up around $1 USD.
That's cool. What does the checkout process look like? Like, does it then, like, you're populating a deep link or something like this upon the creation of the item in the store, or how does that work?
So here's the store right here. One of the products, which I just have 4 of the same product in here, requires an email address because it's a digital project. So you have to put in your email address and you click purchase, and it just does a send coin. And then I've got webhooks set up that listen for transfers. And when a transfer comes in, it will look to see if it's paid. And if it's paid, it will deliver via email the digital product.
Awesome. And that, how does that like tracking work between that donate? Like, how do you know that it's that donation versus just somebody else sending a dollar and at that time?
So we don't perfectly know yet. So what I've done is I've cheated, and anytime there's a transfer at all in the webhook, I loop through any open transactions and check the transaction status with Rally.
Very cool. I'll need to connect you to the engineer that built the demo roulette project, because they have a really clever deep link like note creation piece that they're using for that. Because maybe you could actually embed information in the checkout. This is awesome, Richard.
This is great. I appreciate you coming on, onto the call first of all, but also, just being willing to actually show this to us. So, which is really exciting. I can't wait for, Livibee to launch this, but also other creators to adopt this, which is really exciting. So Richard, me and Rob, and I can speak for the rest of the Rally team. We really appreciate your work, and Livibee, really excited that you came on. We really appreciate your guys' willingness to lean in and provide some updates for us. I want to be courteous of everyone's time. I know people are busy. It is 12 o'clock. We had a very jam-packed show today, which is great. So any other questions? We have our Discord. Alex Phelps just dropped his Twitch handle. Jason, I believe, just dropped his Discord. I want to say a real quick shout out to all the creators that joined today, like Chris Brogan. Congratulations on launching the backpack coin. We have Francine, we have Jeremiah, we have Maddie Mo. Great to see everyone in here. And we'll be catching you guys in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned for the Zoom up link and time, same place, same time as well. Everyone enjoy your guys' weekend. Thank you guys again, and we'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Bye, guys.